see older single ladies. Because
people just really want drama. So as long as and we have learned that women, like middle-aged women, are dramatic from all the Real Housewife type shows. So
yeah, I mean,
that's what I think people are tuning in for.
Are the Real Housewives as old as these women?
I think some of them are approaching that age.
Yeah, because if these women are crazy, they're going to be somebody's crazy grandma.
Mm-hmm. I think the youngest is like 60.
60. Anna is 61. April is 65. Christina is 73. Now, obviously, the guy they got for this is the most, good-looking older guy they could find, too.
They nailed
like,
it. He's
still
72 and he's really together.
He's like a dentist or something, or was. 72-year-old guy. And so they're dipping their toe in the Golden Bachelor.
I never watched The Bachelor, so this would be a weird time to start, but
I watched the first few seasons pretty religiously. I enjoyed it a lot, and then I don't know, I just didn't care anymore.
Let's see about these ladies.
Once you kind of got the template for The Bachelor or The Bachelorette, either one.
All right, Anna's given some, what's the lady from Step Brothers, the mom?
Mary Steenburgen. Yeah. So these are women in their mid-60s, early 70s. They have probably all had some kind of cosmetic surgery, but that's fine. Ellen is 71. A lot of these women look similar. I think it would have been more fun.
Old Bachelor, young girls.
Old Bachelor, young girls.
That would have been great.
Now, they weren't going to do that because it would have been so distracting. It would have been nonstop complaining from certain corners of whatever. But, Leslie is 64, and she's a fitness instructor from Minneapolis. Maria is 60 from New Jersey. So, yeah, there are some good-looking women on this. I mean, none of them are...
Also,
they're cute.
It's really, like, when you start reading the bios, like, oh, this is Joan, and she's 60, and she lost her husband to pancreatic cancer. Like,
right.
Woo.
Well, but that's what's going to provide the drama and the pathos on The Golden Bachelor. Pamela is 75. She's a retired salon owner from Aurora, Illinois. That is suburban Chicago. And she's ready to say goodbye to her single days. Like, but you're not going to get married. The Bachelor, they're like, I'm looking for my husband, or I'm looking for my, the Bachelorette. I'm looking for my husband, the Bachelor. I'm looking for my wife. These are people in their 20s or 30s. These people aren't getting married.
They might.
Who's getting married at 75 years old?
People do it all the time.
But why?
Because they still believe in it for whatever reason. I just had a brilliant idea. You're not going to like it.
Let me preface this by saying, shut up, Bill.
The Golden Bachelorette. Starring Alan's mom.
Shut up.
They could do this. They could do this with gays. Maybe that's the only time when, like, men are ready to settle down, like in their 50s and 60s.
They're finally done hoeing.
Because, well, honestly, though, because they had like the gay Bachelor. It was called Finding Prince Charming.
Yeah.
And the Prince Charming ended up being an escort. So that was one. And then all the men in the house were like banging each other, so they didn't even really care if they got the right guy or not. So I think this is the only way that they're
like, oh man, we did not think this through.
No. Yeah. Well, and you have to do
the kinks. Otherwise, you think ABC wouldn't have had a gay? I mean, most of their fan base is gay. It's all Disney, so they would have had a gay Bachelor if it was like feasible to do it.
Yeah, but there's a weird confluence putting a TV show like that together where you want like young hot dudes,
but you can't have them banging each other.
But those aren't the guys who are looking to get married. Well, the dudes who are looking to get married are like settled in their career. They maybe want a kid. That doesn't make for very exciting television.
Yes,
you want people who are psychotic.
They need to have a gay dating show. The Bachelor needs to be 45 to 50. All of the men need to be 30. I'm not even me, like 35 plus, because I feel like at that point you've done your hoeing, you have your career established. At least you should have an idea of what you're doing for the rest of your life. If you've been married, you probably have been divorced. You have your kids if you want kids, and then you're on the next stage of your life, vintage D and up. That is what I think they should do if they want to do a gay Bachelor, because the having a bunch of 20-something young men in a house fighting for one dude is like, why would I fight for one dude when my bunkmate is hotter than the guy that I'm trying to lust after?
Bunkmate. Yeah, ABC is not going to put a gay Bachelor show on.
It was on, Finding Prince Charming was on VH1, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be on cable, but like the network is not going to put a gay dating show on.
Peacock needs to think of something.
They thought that they were changing the world when they got a black bachelorette. So middle America is not looking to watch the gay Bachelor show.
It depends on what type of gay it is.
No, it doesn't.
Different type of gays.
People hear gay Bachelor, and you're going to have all kinds of right-wing nut jobs freaking out over it.
They're like, I was married, I had kids, it didn't work out because they care about the storyline.
It should be get a bi Bachelor and see if you can have
half guys, half girls.
Then you have all the Christians cheering for the women.
Nope.
And then all the gays cheering for the man.
No. People don't like. You think people are homophobic against gays? They're really homophobic against bis, because then.
But that's what I'm saying. Like they're like, no, he's not bi, he's gay. And then like, no, he's not bi, he's straight.
But bis are hated by both sides. Like they're hated by the straights because they feel like they're polluting it. If they hate gays, they're like, oh, well, I don't want to be with a man or a woman who's been with other men or women. And the gays don't want it because they're like, choose a side, you greedy bitch. Like,
well, just because they're doing their Miley Cyrus, Hannah Montana, living the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
And everybody's hating on them.
Listen, my grandma did get remarried at 76. She married a younger guy and thought that she would thought he'd outlive her. That was not the case. She outlived 2 husbands. So I know it happens. I mean, I guess I don't. But they lived in a small town, and at that age you're going to need help with things. So I understood that. But again, I don't know where this dude is from. I don't know where he lives, but he's 72, and he's got grown daughters.
I have a friend, his mom passed away last year or 2 years ago, and his dad was dating somebody and moved in with pretty quick. I don't think they have gotten married yet, but they're right there.
Yeah.
If that happens.
Well, the Golden Bachelor is a widower. He married his high school sweetheart. Ugh. And they lived together for 43 years. And she died in 2017.
From what?
Says she suddenly fell ill. Doesn't say. But the women, they're calling them the Golden Girls.
Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being a friend.
Should use that on the Golden Bachelor. A former Chicago Honey Bear cheerleader, a wedding officiant, some teachers, a woman who calls herself a pro-aging coach and midlife speaker. Okay, she's going to be the crazy one. You got to have a wild card in there.
Yeah, that's what
you got to
people
have
are
somebody.
tuning in
Yeah,
for.
somebody who cut the
need
brakes.
New York.
Yeah,
This is just going to be a dry house, if you will.
and one of the women is the mother of one of the bachelors.
Oh.
Matt James, who was the Bachelor season 25, his mom is on this show. Anyway, it kicks off tonight if you're going to watch the Golden Bachelor there on ABC. And I think the youngest woman on here is 60 years old. And Jerry, the dude, is going to be looking for love with these women. He's a teacher from L.A., interior designer. And I'm curious to see how people will respond to this. I don't think this is going to be a big hit. I just don't think people want to watch old people make out on television.
It's not about the making out. It's about the drama. So if the
Yeah,
women are catty and fight with each other, it will be a hit. But if they don't, look at, people love those shows. Middle-aged women fighting with each other. They have.
You mean
it's all across the country.
You mean in the vein, right? But we're also in an age where people are sick to death of Karens, And that's all middle-aged women screaming about is. Those are Karens. And nobody wants to see them for 3 hours on a Thursday night.
Is that how long The Bachelor is?
I mean, they just jam-pack it with advertising. I think each episode is at least 90 minutes.
That's
premiere might be
insane.
3 hours. Yeah, there's very little footage, right? They just stuff it with advertising.
I'm out. Can't do that.
So, yeah.
But I think if the women are
curious to see
catty
how
and
it goes.
fighting, I think it'll be a hit.
Hmm.
If it's just sweet and endearing, no one's watching that.
That's why I think it's going to
No one's watching that.
That's why I think it's going to lean more that way, because I think these are women who are looking. They're like, yeah, it would be great to meet somebody. It's probably going to be sweet. That's
But
probably
there's got to be some of them that are in there. They're just trying to launch their brand. They want their
at
version.
75.
Yeah. I mean, some of them are 75, but some of them are 60, and they have seen what women around their age or a little bit younger have done by being on television, and they go, "Hey, I'll see what I can do.
Yeah.
If I can be some sort of phenomenon." They get people to follow them on Instagram. They get people. They go, "Oh, buy my skin." You know, they call it the skincare line, old lady wine.
Yeah, okay.
Stuff like that.
Yeah,
like,
all right.
Yeah, it's.
So it's like it's con spawn is what you're saying. It's
Yeah.
sponsored content, spawn con. All right. Well, yeah. The pro aging coach and speaker is Natasha. She's from New York City. She's 60. She's black with a rack. She's cute. She likes listening to Janet Jackson and spending time with her 15-year-old granddaughter. See, that it's going to be a lot of people trading stories about their grandkids.
Yeah.
Do people want to watch that?
We will find out.
Yeah, I'm curious.
And again, I think it really comes down to if these women are how they interact with each other, not necessarily how they interact with him. And if they are, you know, all it takes is that one lady that's like, I'm not taking that crap, and starting drama and getting people fired up.
Well, I'll tell you what. It's at
Just
the
need one standout.
It is at the very least going to be a bullseye for the demographic that network television appeals to primarily now.
Right, and that's also a huge factor is the people that watch network television are 50 older.
Right.
Like, you're the only one on the show that ever talks about flipping around. Like, just flipping through channels. Like, it's 1997.
Well, I have Hulu Live, and it's like cable.
I got Discovery, and I got, or not Discovery, DirecTV.
But that's all you do on Netflix is flip around.
No, I put on a show and I watch it.
No, but most people
I
are
like
flipping around. They're like, what am I going to watch? You just stand there.
I know what I'm going
It's
to
like
watch.
you do, but you know what I mean?
But I think there's a lot of people that are like me, that you have your show that you watch, and you get through that show, and you go, okay, done with that show. Now it's on to the next show. And it's not as much flipping around as it used to be.
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
especially when you're alone.
But it's a lot of
No
times
one to argue with.
It's a lot of times it's a cliche. It's a joke now where people talk about, yeah, I sat there watching Netflix. Oh, what'd you watch? Nothing. I just flipped around for an hour and I couldn't decide anything, so I went to bed. I did that the other night. I couldn't sleep, so I go downstairs and I'm clicking around and I'm looking like, maybe I'll watch the documentary. Maybe I'll watch a horror movie. There's too much, so I'm like, whatever.
right.
I just watched old Frasers.
That's a great option. You know what has got me? You know, I'm doing Sopranos right now, but I think after I have Sopranos, because of all the Kevin James memes, I'm going back to King of Queens. I'm going to rewatch that show. I haven't watched that show in forever. And I never watched it like all the way through. I just watched it when it was on, like reruns. But Jerry Stiller's so goddamn funny on that show. He's playing Costanza, but he's still great.
Yeah. Gwen wanted to watch Malcolm in the Middle.
That's a funny show.
I've never seen Malcolm in the Middle. She goes, hey, how about if we watch that? And I go, okay, because I kind of started watching Mad Men. I'd never watched that. I said, yeah, okay, old Bryan Cranston, whatever. Everybody talks about how funny. I said, I cannot get into it.
Oh, really? I love that show.
Don't care for it. We're like 2-3 episodes in. I'm like, I don't.
Oh, you got to give it more than 3 episodes.
Why? I get it. It's a crazy family. Like, I'm not.
They find their pacing. They find their storylines. It's. I enjoyed that show.
All right.
And Cranston's great on it. I'm doing my Sopranos rewatch right now, and I just got to the Ralphie season 3, and I forgot how much I love him. He's just a maniac.
Alan, they did a show called Who Wants to Marry My Dad about 20 years ago on NBC. Was that a big hit?
I'm guessing not, because none of us remember it.
They only did 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah. The show was a modest hit in season 1. Right. Who Wants to Marry My Dad?
But that's also when they were still trying to figure out how to do these dating shows. Now they have it all down to a science.
Yeah.
They know how to get them just drunk enough so that they start all the drama. And I think we'll get some good drama from this show.
I just don't know that people want to watch a dude and another septuagenarian walk into the fantasy suite unless they're not doing that for this. Maybe they have tailored it to that demographic. Maybe they're not going to have the boom boom room.
Is there that much sex in like making out on The Bachelor?
Well, they go to the fantasy suite. They spend the night in the thing, and the cameraman has to stand outside the door, and then you hear them like whisper. They go hold a glass up to the door, and there's whispering on the other side.
So that's just like implied sexiness. Like it's not.
Well,
like
it's not pornography,
right?
But yeah. But I mean, are they going to have implied sex on the Golden Bachelor?
Yeah, and you hear knees cracking.
Yeah.
Where are my pills?
A lot of broken hips.
Yeah, and this is probably all. Watch this episode and see which boner pill is the main sponsor, because that is going to be a through line for sure.
It's going to be Cialis, Valtrex, and Depend are going to be the advertisements.
Or is it going to be like one of the newer ones? Is Hims making a move?
Yeah. All right. Alan, one of the women, they said, dated Prince. All right. Well, he's dead too. This guy is not. This guy's alive and well, and he's the Golden Bachelor. So that starts tonight. I mean, we'll watch it. I'll watch it. Let's see what's going on. Get the cut of this guy's jib.
Nice jib cut.
Yeah. Well, every widower should have a good jib cut. I got a break here. I want to go see Stavros Halkias. He is one of the many comedians who are going to be in Cleveland next Saturday night. His show